Now, speaking of content creators, I also mentioned last stream that there were different creators from the DMV complaining that there's not that many creators in the DMV. And I disagreed with that. So we're going to look at a few of these, and I'm going to show y'all what they're saying, which led me to say what the I said before. And I guess I'll say again what I'm going to say. So check this out. This is my guy, Oliver from MD.
If you live in the DMV and you're doing content, y'all know it's hard as to make it out, bro. That ass, it's hard as because the people over here don't give a about you making content, bro.
That is true. People in the DMV do not give a about making content unless you already made it. For real. Like, while you're trying, while you're on the grind, while you're just starting or whatever, they don't give a and they don't believe in you. But then all of a sudden, when you start doing numbers, they know you all of a sudden. They've been there since the beginning all of a sudden. They remember you from way back when all of a sudden.
Bro, they think doing content is lame, bro. They're gonna look at you weird as let's be real. I'm being dead ass. Oh, it's like, if you do content over here, they look at you like you most hated, bro. Like, bro, dead ass, you're most hated. People look at you weird. You live.
That's one person. Here's another person.
Yeah, bro, I wish people in Northern Virginia, well, the DMV as a whole, really, I wish there was more like content, not even content, more streaming. I wish there was more streamers down to collab, down to do cool ideas. I know probably like maybe 2-3 streamers from the DMV area.
That's another person. Then, earlier today, I came across this video.
King Paul had recently made a video about why creatives in the DMV tend to not sort of make it. And 9 times out of 10, it came down to just the fear of being perceived, but then also the fact that folks are really sort of hypercritical and kind of negative in this area. And honestly, I've been kind of talking about this for years. This was something that I noticed and was just so striking to me when I moved here from Boston. Because when I tell you, it is genuinely abnormal how scared people are in the DMV of being perceived. Like, there is a lot of people here who have such like really strong inflated egos. They think they're in such different places than they actually are in real life. And so it's like, what are you actually scared of? I made another video kind of alluding to this as well, generally around the fact that like people think they are just too cool for school sometimes. And it's like, they are so scared of even like literally being seen trying. There are so many aspiring artists here who literally aren't even willing to do like really small scale shows. They're not willing to open up for other artists. And they have such a like pride and ego about them. And they're literally scared of being like the little dogs. And it is so wild because like, honestly, if you just embrace that a little bit more, you'd probably make it to where you're supposed to be that much quicker. Like, literally making it in the creative scene requires such a level of like humility because yes, it's hard and everyone starts from zero, right? Like, let's be real. But like, the more you can get comfortable with like being perceived, being seen trying, being seen failing multiple times, the quicker you will sort of get there. And just as a personal anecdote, I am not even where I want to be in my career on any sort of front, right? Like, this is all a journey.
I like how she said that, for real. I like how she said that because it's not just here in the DMV, but overall, people don't give a fuck about your journey until you reach the final destination. For example, like, they don't care about your story. They don't care about anything until you win. So as of right now, while you have under 1,000 followers, under 1,000 subscribers, or whatever the case may be, don't nobody give a fuck about you. But once you get up to the 20Ks, the 30Ks, the 50Ks, the 100Ks, then all of a sudden they on your dick. Because now you're where they want to be. And misery loves company. So they're, instead of motivating you, instead of helping you get to where you want to be, they're going to bring you down to keep them right where they at. You know what I'm saying? And it is a journey. Everybody starts from zero. Everybody starts from the level of obscurity, which means nobody, excuse me, goddamn, messed up my whole line. Everybody starts from zero. Everybody starts from the level of obscurity, which means nobody knows you yet. Nobody knows you, so that means nobody's going to care to know you. At least here. At least out in the DMV. Nobody's going to give a fuck to know you. So you have to force them to know you. You have to make them know who you are. That's why you have to keep pushing out content no matter what you say. The problem is you really got to like separate yourself. And that's the sad part about it. You have to separate yourself from everybody. And if you do want to connect with people, you have to put in the work to find others that are on the same boat as you or on the same path as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was surprised that I went on Threads a few weeks ago found creators in the DMV that are coming together for a networking event that one of them actually put together. So I went to that and I saw plenty of them in one event. Got to talk with a few of them. Some of them followed me on here. Some of them followed me on Instagram. And I was glad. I'm thinking, okay, this is just one event. And because this is one event, let's try to go to another one. I don't know when that other one is going to be or where it's going to be, but let's just keep going and keep building these networking opportunities. So because of that, I made sure to stay in touch with those that did follow me and those that did. 'Cause I got to go back and see the new accounts that I have followed back and stuff. So that way, you know, whenever they drop something, I'll be in their comment section. I'll be liking some of their stuff. I'll be trying to contact them to see if we can work on something together. That's what it's really all about, but not everybody is really doing that, and that is specifically what these videos are about. And it's the sad thing. It's the sad thing. That's how it is in the DMV. We'll let her finish talking.
But I will say, a couple of years ago when I started posting my content, most of my friends from the DMV thought it was so cringy. They hated the fact that I was even on TikTok. And I promise you, they will hate until it starts working. 9 times out of 10. As soon as they start seeing it working, it turns from, you know, cringy or champ. And now it's like, oh, what they do? What they got going on? Now they're your biggest supporters. Now they riding for you. It always...
Didn't I say that though? Didn't I say that though? In the beginning, they don't give a f, but then once you start popping, all of a sudden they known you since way back when, and they was there from day one. You know what I'm saying? They be doing that, thinking that they your biggest supporter when the whole time. You remember when they was talking that shit. You remember when they didn't believe in you. When I first started, bruh, dog, this is a bad example, but this is the only example I could think of. I was dating this girl when I first started content creating, right? And she was supportive a little bit. She was, you know, she helped me go get my first camera and my first little mini tripod to go along with it. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten it for real. I mean, I had the money for it, but I think she just went with me to go get this, right? And she had given me a few ideas. Majority of them were mine, but you know, she gave me a couple ideas. But then as time went on, you know, and you know, the growth was very, very, very slow. She wasn't that same supporter. You know what I'm saying? And with her being my girlfriend at the time, I thought that she would be my biggest supporter outside of my family. And even my family were all that supportive in the beginning. I'll get to them next. Fast forward when we break up, she was saying all the things about me that she felt, and I was saying things about her that made me feel a wrong way. And I mentioned one of those things was for her not being a supporter of mine when I started creating content. And her reasoning behind that was because she thought that it wasn't beneficial for us as a couple. First of all, me creating content wasn't for us. It was for me. So I don't understand why you thought that that was even a couple thing. I didn't ask you to be in my videos. Well, I did actually. Like, I was trying to do like the lifestyle vlogging type stuff, and she never wanted to be on camera, which I respected. But even when I was still doing some things in my video, and I was just doing sneaker stuff, you know what I'm saying? Trying to go get shoes, trying to look at shoes, and trying to go to a sneaker con and stuff like that. And when I would leave, she would have a problem with me thinking that I was around somebody else instead of her, and like that. Like, that got mad annoying, bro. That got mad annoying. So for her to think that it wasn't beneficial for us as a couple, oh, and let me not forget, we had an argument one time, and she decided to go below the belt, saying, you're trying to grow a YouTube channel that nobody gives a fuck about. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Now, as far as my family goes, at first they didn't see the vision because content creating, I'm not going to say was fairly new, but that wasn't really in our world too much. We were just watching creators. We never thought about being creators. So at that time, when I finally said, man, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel and I might do it on sneakers and this and that and third, my mom first said, Rigel, you should focus on school. You need to work on school and this and that and the third, right? my siblings were little at the time. They weren't thinking about doing no content creating. Now all of a sudden my mom thinks that college is a scam, and she's trying to give me advice on what I should do with my content when I already knew what the hell I needed to do. I just needed to just do it. I was doing the studying. I was watching the creators that came before me. I was being a sponge to the type of content that I wanted to give to the people. All I had to do was do it. And I did start it, and it was going fairly well. And then the inconsistency started once life started to hit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the vid hit, you know what I'm saying, 2020. Everybody was down. But as far as my siblings go, my little brother, he then decided to become a content creator, and he was making content with his friends, and this was after he graduated high school. You know what I'm saying? I'll give him some slack because my siblings, they didn't care what I did as long as I succeeded. My dad didn't necessarily care what I did as long as it didn't get in the way of regular life. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody is with it. Everybody's with me. It's definitely one of those things where in the beginning they don't believe, and then as time goes on, they do believe, and they see how I've been so passionate about this. Even though my numbers aren't where I want them to be, they still see things. And now my little brother who's come after me, he starts seeing things too. And I'm seeing him do his thing. He does food content now. So there's that. And yeah.
It works like that. Think about some aspiring artists, right? When they was making it or when they was trying to make it, y'all did not support them. But as soon as they made it big, now they're the hometown hero, right? Do not be afraid to literally be seen trying. A lot of the times, 9 times out of 10, when you're scared of being perceived as cringy or a champ, people are just projecting because they don't have the courage to do it themselves. They are just projecting. Like, the quicker we can get over that, the better. Like, I really want to see the DMV be like an area that like creators can really thrive in. There's no reason why every single DMV creator you know has to move to New York City, has to move to LA. There's such a rich creative scene here. Why does it have to be that way? You know?
I don't know if there's a rich creative scene here, but we can create it. We can create it. If you go anywhere in the DMV, especially in PG County, DC area, and you see that go-go culture, my God, that is something to see. On everything, you can create so much content out there. We do have outings. We do have Six Flags is gone now, but we did have areas where you can create so much content in. Now, granted, I think in our defense, when you do go to these public places, they are strict with people having cameras and stuff. Excuse me, y'all. They are strict with people who try to stream or who try to vlog and stuff, so you got to really be careful. But I always said this, the DMV is not necessarily entertainment base. It's corporate base. We live right by the goddamn White House. We live right by the goddamn Pentagon. We live right by the goddamn anywhere that's political. And everything is all business out here. Entertainment can be a form of a business, but that's not the focus out here, unfortunately. So that does get passed down to the people. So the people aren't necessarily going to look at entertainment unless it's being done by other people who are not from here. And she said, there should be no reason why people will have to go out and move to LA or move to New York. Well, guess what? That's where all the entertainment stuff is. That's where all the networking opportunities are. I said this in the last stream. People can make it in content creating. It's just going to be a hard grind. You have to do it yourself. You have to separate yourself. Separate yourself from everybody and also put in a little extra work to find like-minded creators. But even still, once you feel like you've made it or you're close to making it, that's when you move. And again, even though she named a couple places, there are at least 5 places that I could think of that people move to. LA, New York, Florida, whether that be Miami or Orlando, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas. Those are the 5 main places people move to when they seek opportunity. All the networking is out there. All the entertainment resources are out there. For some reason, they're not in the DMV. I don't know why. It's just not there. So she mentioned that this was her kind of piggybacking off of King Paul's video. We're going to go to King Paul because this is where this all started. He's a DMV creator who does not live in the DMV anymore. He's living in Atlanta.
I feel like the reason the DMV really isn't on the map is because everything is champ to us. You do anything that's trending, champ. You start a new business, champ. You give your unpopular opinion, champ.
Nobody gives a fuck about anything you got to say or anything you got to do unless it benefits them, which is why I say just separate yourself, keep your goals, keep your vision private to yourself. If you want to share it with friends, if you want to share it with like-minded people, cool, but just keep it to yourself and just keep putting in the work. And don't let the outside noise bring you down. I definitely had outside noise bring me down. I had friends who I thought were close to me literally tell me to hang it up. I had a store manager who I was cool with tell me, Rigel, I really hope you're not trying to go viral at 30. Who the said I wanted to go viral? I'm just not expressing, but I'm presenting my interests to the world. You see what I'm saying? I'll say all these things. There are some people, very little people, who were on my side. Like when I first started my YouTube channel and I announced it on my Instagram, one of my closest friends damn near cried because she was so proud of me that I'd made that decision. You know what I'm saying? I had one person who started YouTube before me. He was like, yo, welcome, right? Now, I don't know anybody that I personally know who streams. Hopefully I can bring them on or someday, or hopefully I could find somebody that I actually personally know who streams, because then we can make streaming content together. If not, I'm going to have to try to find somebody else so that way we can get something on and popping.
And I did not realize how judgmental I was until I moved to Atlanta. And
I'm not gonna lie, I was judgmental too. I'm not gonna act like I'm anybody different. I was definitely judgmental on some too. And then once I got into the space my damn self, I had to open my mind.
Blame the DMV. My whole first year in Atlanta, I was looking at everybody like, and they wouldn't even be doing anything crazy. For example, one thing that really threw me off and made me uncomfortable when I first moved out here was Southern hospitality. Back in Maryland, people just like don't speak unless they're spoken to or if they know you. But out here, people will approach you as if they've known you all their life, and y'all could be complete strangers. So when I first moved out here, people would come up to me all bubbly trying to chop it up. And in my mind, I'm just like, bro, why are you talking to me? I don't know you. And mind you, they could be able to put me on and change my whole life, because you really never know what people got going on out here. But just because of how I was raised, like, I just would keep it real brief and nonchalant with people. And another thing that used to fry me when I first moved out here was seeing people unapologetically promote their brand in public. Like, I would be going to Lennox and see somebody with a trunk full of clothes trying to sell their brand, and I'd just be like, bro, if you don't stop bothering these people and go open a Shopify. And I think it's because people back home will have a whole clothing brand and never talk about it, have an IG page for their brand with no posts but DM to order in their bio. And it didn't hit me how negative people from the DMV are until my homeboy from back home moved out here. And when I would be hanging with him, he would say the things that I would think, and hearing it out loud, I'd be like, bruh, you're an A1 hater. And I really thought about it, and I was like, damn, that's just a DMV thing. Every time he turned his head, he was calling something or someone champ. And then I just started thinking like, damn, we're very negative people in the DMV.
Yeah.
It's like you're expected to be the city's version of Fly, follow the crowd, and shut up. It's like you can't think outside of the box and unapologetically be yourself or aspire to succeed out of the DMV. And it's sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. And that does not mean that everybody has to do it, but the outside noise gets to you so much that you just become that. But somebody has to break that cycle. Somebody has to break that curse. You know what I mean? Somebody has to break that mindset. Granted, it's not going to be easy unless you really, really don't give a f. There's women out here who truly don't give a f. They're out here being as creative can be. And if anybody got anything to say to them, they fighting. But for some reason, us men out here in the DMV, I don't know if it's just us men. Well, it could be everybody. Excuse me. It could be everybody. But at the same time, it's like, damn. We are really judgmental on things, and we look around and we see why we're not popping. We're looking around and seeing why. How come there's very, very few people that we can name on the top on one hand? Big Win, King Paul, T Banks, Chris Next Door. Am I missing somebody else? Those guys are all from the DMV. You got Amvante. He's from Baltimore. If we want to go up a notch, if we want to go up tier in entertainment, Wale from the DMV. Kevin Durant, NBA player from the DMV. Taraji P. Henson from the DMV. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have people who are from here who made it out. Why can't we do the same thing? Granted, you got to move out for more opportunity, and I think that's anybody. You know what I'm saying? Who do you know that's making a name for themselves from North Dakota? Who the fuck is making a name for themselves in North Dakota? Let's be real. Who the fuck is making a name for themselves in Wyoming, Montana, Idaho? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hear about those states often. So why is the DMV is spoken about all the time, but why do we have to be spoken about in this type of light? We should not have to be talked about in this fashion. We should all have room to make it. They always say there's opportunity out here. I keep hearing that from my dad. Like, there's mad opportunity out here, this and that and the third. I don't be seeing it. I don't be feeling it either. But that's because we get so judgmental and so close-minded on and like-minded with other negative people. But if we try to think outside the box, if we just try to move different and be more social instead of being so judgmental and antisocial, I feel like this community would be bigger than what it's supposed to be. So I hope to see more content creators in the DMV, work with them so we can grow. Either we build something here or we do whatever out of this. Because if that's the best way to go is move out and make your name, then by all means, that's what we got to do. People who make it don't stay home anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just a safety hazard, but that's all that it is. So hopefully it gets better over time. Unfortunately, it hasn't gotten better yet, but hopefully it does over time. I guarantee you, you move out, you build a name for yourself, you make it, come back to the DMV after you made it and you doing your things here. I guarantee you the same people that was judgmental ain't judging you no more. They giving you all the props, all the props.